Hey everybody, Alex here with Momentum Charting. Thank you so much for jumping into this video. As promised, we are going to be looking at the chart of SPRT, support.com, see kind of how the day ended. And if you have not yet done so, make sure you jump down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Doing both of those things is the only way to ensure you do not miss a single update on SPRT, other stocks, broad markets moving forward. Thank you for doing that. So, guys, the basic outcome of the end of the day on SPRT was that it was a day that was a little bit frustrating, but it's sort of a silver lining, good day, bad day type scenario. So as you guys know, on the chart of SPRT, I was really waiting for the next trade opportunity to open up in SPRT. But unfortunately, we never got that, and I'm going to kind of walk you through here what happened on SPRT. Again, I was looking for a continuation to the upside of that 3-minute momentum that I outlined on this chart today. And unfortunately, guys, what happened when this is about where I shot the video at. Let me open up the... This is about the area right here where I shot the video at, somewhere around 9 a.m. approximately. And I was waiting for this level, for this momentum to turn back to the upside and continue with momentum back to the upside, which would have indeed broken prices off these levels right here. I had this line in the sand drawn on my support on my 10-minute, and I was looking for prices to come down here and break off this and head higher. Well, it faked out a couple times, guys. It faked out. It looked for a minute like it was potentially going to break up, but instead of this momentum continuing and carrying up to the upside, you guys can see here I had drawn in this sort of sideways channel that started forming here. And instead of continuing up through that channel, right here around a little bit past 10 a.m., around 10:12 in the morning, this channel just started failing to the downside. And in fact, this entire move of momentum started regressing and failing to the downside. And at the same time, right around 10:12 in the morning, approximately when the momentum failed, we could see that this momentum was failing on the price chart because of the fact that this line, our support line on the 10-minute, was starting to break to the outside and then just started breaking down, and this whole thing just completely collapsed. So good news, bad news. Guys, on the good news, I believe that there is still potentially a trade in play here. Bad news, of course, no trade today, no continuation of a move to the upside from these levels here. And I did want to show this too. Right here around the same period of time on the 30-minute, I look at this dynamic RSI. I've showed this to you guys in the past. But right here around the same period of time, you could see that this around between 9:30 and 10:30 or so, This dynamic RSI, you could see it just started pushing here to the downside. So it was really pretty obvious to me there was going to be no trade setup today. The RSI started failing, couldn't hold this trend line, and most importantly, the thing that I was really looking for and hoping for, we would get some sort of turnaround at these levels here and a start of a push side and a continuation of this 3-minute to the momentum to the upside. We never ever got any of those things. So there was no trade today. But again, on the positive side, most of the things that I saw that made SPRT potentially a good trade are still in place here, guys. And I do want to show you that. Here on the TOAN, let me open this chart up a little bit. You can see this is still pushing hard to the upside on the 2-hour, the 4-hour, the 1-hour. Let me look and see what the 20-minute's doing. Yeah, and 20-minute is still pushing up strong. So, guys, I do believe, and massive volume today, 80 million shares of volume. So, looking at this, guys, this is kind of what I was talking to you guys about today in the video of SPRT, as well as the video of the Qs. If you haven't seen that yet, watch the video I did today on the Qs. These magnetic trend lines on medium-term trends on medium-term time frames. Here, the 2 hour, I have this set as our sort of medium-term trend line. I've got one trend line here in place, right? This one here. And I also have this other one that's also potentially a medium-term trend line. But I'm going to be looking at this one first, right here on a 2 hour time frame, right around $10.46. Let me get back to the 10-minute chart here. So these areas here, and I've got the circle there, you can see that's what point I put this morning on the first video I did, where I said if this fails, you guys can see here just this quick price action down to the downside, breaking support. This, guys, is why you do not want to stay in this type of stock as they are breaking these upward sloping trend lines of support. Very, very important. You want to, if you're already in the stock, cut your losses. If you are looking for an entry, definitely do not even consider entering trades when they are breaching these important trend lines to the upside. But you guys can see the action here within 10 minutes, within 20-30 minutes. This thing started really losing steam and retracing badly, and by the end of the day we had pulled all the way back. And you guys can see why I call these magnetic trend lines. They just act as magnets, and I've got two of them here. I'm not sure about this one, guys, even though this kind of did act as a place where a price stopped today, but I don't know. After hours it's up again, so maybe this is going to be a valid trend line. I don't know, but maybe price continues through this trend line here tomorrow, and we get some sort of action down here more in the 1023 area. So I'm going to be watching this very closely. But again, showing everything I showed you guys, like the TON, the velocity indicator that I use, everything's still looking very good, very strong. So I do believe there is some chance here, right, of prices of SPRT. So this is, again, silver lining on this. There was no trade today because our momentum indicators failed, our trend line failed. But that does not mean I'm not going to be back tomorrow setting up the same trade, looking for the same potential setup, and looking for prices in the very short near term to explode again to the upside. And guys, that's exactly what I'm going to be looking for. And I'm going to be looking at these areas tomorrow, see if we get a reaction tomorrow off this trend line. If that fails, I'm going to be looking here or closer to the 1030 area or so on SPRT. In addition to that, I'm going to be looking for this 30-minute, this dynamic RSI, to confirm and continue pushing back to the upside, just like it did here back on August 23rd. Upside, confirm, continue. So I'm going to be looking potentially for something like that, right? Confirm, continue, upside. So I'm going to be looking for the 30-minute dynamic RSI to continue back to the upside. That will let me know that for certain the next trend to the upside on SPRT is in place, and if that happens off one of these 10-minute trend lines, it's going to give me even more comfort and more I'll be more certain that that trade is something that's worth looking into. And lastly, I want to show you guys this. If we just open this up, so yeah, on the 3-minute momentum, definitely what I'll be looking for is some sort of pattern like we got here, right? This series of higher lows and higher highs, these positive divergent bottoms, and this is what I'm going to be looking for to continue in SPRT. Something like this, right? Where we kind of get this nice setup where it looks like prices on the 3-minute are headed higher. So that's what I'm going to be watching for carefully tomorrow. And I do want to watch also this 2-hour, because guys, we are at this point right now in SPRT. Let me open up the momentum indicator, like I was telling you guys about today on the 3-minute, how it was in a nice range at a nice level if we were indeed able to get momentum to continue to the upside, which unfortunately we weren't today. Not everything's perfect, just didn't have enough steam left in the tank. But that does not mean that this 2-hour momentum can't reset and push up higher from here. And guys, you can see here this is rolling over on the 2-hour. Let me go to the 1-hour, see it a little bit more clearly. If we can get this 1-hour momentum to roll up in these areas here, this is still a very, very nice series of positive divergent bottoms here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be 5. So guys, 1 hour positive divergences are even more powerful than 3 minute for obvious reasons. It's a larger time frame. If we can get something in this area here, let me erase that and put a trend line instead. Yeah, this is really nice area to look for right here. Potentially, if we get SPRT to roll to the downside tomorrow, and maybe even looks like if it were to head all the way back to these areas, it could take another couple of days for the dust to clear. Again, like I was saying, when these important trend lines break to the downside, you always want to give these things time for reconsolidation, dust to settle, everything like that. Make sure that the trend lines you're working off of, the patterns you're looking at, are valid. But if indeed we can get this 1 hour momentum here to turn up to the upside at some point tomorrow or in the next day or so, I believe in conjunction with maybe this 30-minute dynamic RSI and one of these trend lines here, I think it's going to lead us to much higher prices, and we are definitively going to break these areas at $14.67, which was the highs of the day today. I believe there is a strong opportunity to do that in the next couple of days, but it's going to take some cooperation from our dynamic RSI, and it's going to take some cooperation of a positive divergent bottom on a 1 hour/2 hour time frame, as well as this 3-minute momentum to start working back to the upside, just like it did here around August 23rd. Start pushing things to the upside with these positive divergent bottoms on a 3-minute chart, setting us up for a big push back to the upside on a 1 hour momentum positive divergent bottom. Guys, thank you so much for joining me in this video. So glad you could watch it. So glad you could be here. Let's continue to watch SPRT tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, the rest of this week. I just want to see, I think there's a really good trade opportunity setting up here, especially with this huge pullback. I think at the top of the day it was up almost 27, 28, maybe even close to 30% if I'm remembering. It was up a lot and pulled back tremendously during the day, but it's done so on big volume, and it's also done so where a lot of key factors for continued upside momentum setups are looking good. So I'm going to be continuing to watch this chart over the next couple of days. Make sure you are subscribed down below. I will definitely be updating you guys again, maybe tomorrow during the day, midday. We'll see kind of how it goes, but I'll definitely be updating again. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you do not miss that video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see everybody again shortly in the next update. Bye for now.